Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. How Todd Chrisley is reportedly feeling after wife Julie hit setback at her resentencing hearing. At the end of September, Julie Chrisley traveled to Atlanta for her resentencing hearing, where she hit a setback. The former reality TV star, who was facing charges related to her and husband Todd's guilty bank fraud verdict, had her original 7-year sentence reinstated. Said ruling came after prosecutors recommended that particular sentence be handed out. The Chrisley's lawyer, Jay Sargent, has since spoken out on the matter and is now providing comment on Todd's alleged feelings about his spouse's recent legal blow. Jay Sargent sent out a statement that included Todd Chrisley's thoughts on the situation. Apparently, the patriarch of the Chrisley Knows Best clan is extremely disappointed and dissatisfied with the ruling that came down during Julie's resentencing. The message Sargent shared with the New York Post also suggested that Todd is concerned about Julie's health and welfare. Those worries come after the mother of 3 apparently experienced what's been described as a serious health problem during her prison stint. This past spring, it was reported that Julie Chrisley had apparently experienced a cancer scare. Her daughter, Savannah Chrisley, revealed during an installment of her Unlocked podcast, Via People, that her mother had been called in by a prison doctor. According to a letter from Julie that Savannah read, the matriarch was told that she might have a tumor. It's unclear if that's the situation that Todd expressed concerns about in the aftermath of the resentencing. Since reporting to prison in early 2023, Julie Chrisley has been serving her sentence at Federal Medical Center in Lexington, Kentucky. Meanwhile, Todd has been housed in federal prison camp in Florida. Todd was initially sentenced to 12 years while, as mentioned, Julie received 7 years. Those sentences were reduced in late 2023, and it was hoped by the couple's legal team that more time might be shaved off. It was this past June that Mrs. Chrisley's sentence was overturned, as it was determined that there was not sufficient evidence to prove she was conscious of the finance-based offenses committed. At the time, Savannah reacted enthusiastically, but also stressed that more work needed to be done. Initially, Jay Sargent hoped to have Julie home by the spring or summer of 2025. Savannah's plan was a bit different, as she aimed for her mother to return sometime around this coming Thanksgiving. Jay Sargent didn't mince words when discussing his disappointment with the decision reached at the resentencing hearing. He referred to the decision as unreasonable and harsh, and opined that the judge exhibited bias against Julie Chrisley, as he surmised she was being made an example of due to her celebrity status. When it comes to next steps for the Chrisley case, Sargent, who also mentioned Julie's health problems, said that an appeal is going to be filed. The attorney also stressed that he, Savannah, and their team are hopeful about receiving an outcome they'd find to be suitable. All the while, not much seems to have changed when it comes to Todd Chrisley's situation. Yet, if his lawyer's comments are any indication, the father of 5 is more immediately concerned about his wife's well-being. Time will tell how both of their situations ultimately work out. Todd Chrisley, once the charismatic head of a television empire that drew millions of viewers each week, now finds himself caught in a storm of emotions. His wife, Julie Chrisley, has just faced a devastating setback at her resentencing hearing, and the weight of their shared fate is almost too much for him to bear. Todd, already navigating his own legal woes, is feeling the sting of helplessness in a way he hasn't experienced before. But Todd Chrisley is a man who has always prided himself on his ability to stay in control, to orchestrate the lives of his family, and to manage even the most chaotic situations with a grin and a snarky comment. This, however, is different. Inside the stark walls of his cell, the news of Julie's setback rippled through him like a cold wave, each thought heavier than the last. His heart tightened as he imagined her standing in front of the judge, hoping for a glimmer of leniency that never came. Todd had clung to hope, just as Julie had, that the resentencing would bring relief, a reduced sentence, a sign that they could rebuild their lives sooner than expected. But now that hope had been cruelly snatched away, leaving behind a dull ache of despair. It wasn't just the legal blow that struck him, it was the fact that he couldn't be there to comfort her. Julie, the woman who had been his partner in everything, his equal in both business and family life, was now left to face this setback on her own. Todd prided himself on his ability to shield his family, to solve problems, to fix things, and here he was powerless. Reports from inside say that Todd is keeping a brave face, determined not to show weakness to those around him. After all, the persona he built over the years is one of unshakable confidence and a knack for finding a silver lining, but those close to him know that beneath the surface, Todd is battling a profound mix of guilt and sadness. He feels the weight of responsibility for the choices that led them to this point. There is no escaping the reality that their lavish lifestyle, once celebrated on television, has turned into a cautionary tale of excess, deception, and downfall, and it's a hard pill for Todd to swallow. Inside his mind, memories of their life before all this swirl. Todd recalls the extravagant vacations, the booming success of their reality show, and the closeness of their family. But more than the material things, he misses the simple moments with Julie, sitting in their luxurious living room, sipping coffee, laughing over shared jokes. In the current silence of his prison life, those moments seem like another lifetime. There are days when Todd convinces himself that this is all temporary, that eventually they'll be back in each other's arms, rebuilding their empire piece by piece. He pictures their return to normal life, crafting the narrative of their comeback with the same precision he once applied to his reality show script. But after hearing about Julie's resentencing setback, that future seems more distant, less certain. Each day apart feels longer, each legal defeat a reminder of just how tenuous their situation is. Yet, Todd is no stranger to reinvention. Throughout his life, he has shown a remarkable ability to adapt, to craft a new image when the old one no longer serves. He clings to that ability now, telling himself that if anyone can emerge from this unscathed, it's him and Julie. After all, they've built an empire before. They can do it again. But the truth is, he knows that rebuilding won't be easy. Their once loyal fan base has seen their fall from grace, and Todd is unsure how the public will respond if and when they are free again. What really gnaws at Todd, though, is the impact this is having on their children. He imagines how Savannah, Chase, and Grayson must be coping with the news, how they're managing in the outside world while their parents are both incarcerated. Todd has always viewed himself as the glue that holds the family together, but now, from behind bars, he wonders if he can still fulfill that role. His biggest fear is that this situation will tear the family apart, that the damage will be irreparable by the time they're reunited. As he processes the news of Julie's setback, Todd finds himself turning to faith more than ever. It's not just a habit, it's a lifeline. He has always spoken about the importance of faith in his life, but now that faith is being tested in ways he never anticipated. Every night in the quiet of his cell, Todd prays for strength, for resilience, for a miracle that will change the course of their lives. He prays for Julie, for her well-being, for her spirit to remain unbroken despite the crushing disappointment she's just faced. Todd Chrisley is used to being in the spotlight, but this is a stage unlike any other. There are no cameras to capture his witty comebacks or his clever retorts. There's only the stark reality of his situation and the quiet desperation of a man watching his world crumble. Still, in true Todd fashion, he's not ready to give up. He tells himself that this is just another challenge, another plot twist in the story of their lives. He's determined to find a way through this, to come out on the other side stronger, smarter, and ready to rebuild. But in the moments when no one is watching, when the bravado fades and the reality sets in, Todd Chrisley is a man consumed by the weight of his choices and the uncertainty of the future.